Ready close? How are you? Ready shut?
He's all dressed up today.
President Trump, what's your message to Vladimir Putin, sir? President Trump, President Trump, you got a message to Vladimir Putin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, contract. Yes, but after that, he broke this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you see what problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people in your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
honest
to
questions.
dictate that.
That's exactly what you're
Remember
doing.
that. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good. We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, you said thank you. You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble. Wait a minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone. And we are thankful. I said thanks.
You haven't been alone. You haven't been alone. We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire. I want a ceasefire because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about a ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
was your president.
Excuse me, that was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is, Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No, I respect President and I respect American people. And if, I don't know, if I think that we have to be very open and very honest. And I'm not sure that we did something bad. I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out of media, with all respect to democracy and to a free media. But there are things that where we have to understand the position of Ukraine and Ukrainians. And I think that is the most important thing. Yes, we are partners. You know, we are very close partners. We have to be fair. We have to be very free.
I think complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president, was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelensky do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye-rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment.
SUV.
If you look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off? President Zelensky, can you tell us what happened? Donald Trump
Zelensky on juuri lähdössä valkoiselta talolta. Äsken saimme tietää, että mineraalissopimuksen allekirjoittaminen peruttiin kokonaan ja Zelensky juuri astui autoonsa. Sadat toimittajat.
Did you sign the minerals deal? Did you sign the minerals deal?
Why were you so disrespectful to the president?
We may be watching the floor fall through this moment in international relations and diplomacy, or this might be the art of the deal, and we're not going to know for some time. Jackie, it appears that even going into this meeting that this relationship was not great.
My second question for President Zelensky. Do you ever, why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you, do you own a suit?
You have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting.
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something
maybe
like this?
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for.
Just watched the exchange with Zelensky and President Trump, Vance. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Have you?
No. Not in public.
No, not in public. Look, here's the thing. Okay, and people want to act like you're either Ukraine or you're Russia, you're Putin. I can't stand Putin. Do I think he's former KGB? Yeah. Do I think he's a totalitarian? Yeah. Do I think he's interested in freedom? Absolutely not. Don't like the way that he went into Ukraine. I think he'll take anything he can get. All right? But Zelensky is more indicative of the pervasive problem that we're dealing with. Whether it's NATO, whether it's the UN, whether it's the rest of Europe, whether it's Canada, this idea that it's a never-ending supply of support from the United States while you bitch about it. This has to start with some semblance of truth, okay? Without the United States, guess what? You're Russia, Ukraine. That was the law of the land. That's what happened. Stronger nations conquered weaker nations. All of these modern comforts that people take for granted, they are entirely supported by the United States and our military. Not a nation in Europe, certainly not Ukraine, certainly not Canada. And that is the mindset that emboldens people like Putin, because they know at a certain point that well runs dry. Does that make sense? Does that make someone pro-Russia to acknowledge there's no winning here, and there's certainly no winning without the United States? And if you accept those truths, probably not a good idea to walk into the Oval Office and be a dick. Here's how you know he's not being honest, Zelensky. First off, everything is a photo. He rubs me the wrong way, okay? Can't stand Putin, got it? Zelensky rubs me the wrong way. Why? Because he's walking around in the same outfit like he's cartoon Steve Jobs, and he's working for a book deal after this. None of it seems genuine. And he sits and he says, we have been strong since day one, and we have been alone. They haven't been strong since day one. They've been getting, this has been a shellacking, and everyone has been with them since day one. None of those statements are honest. How many Ukraine flags on X, on Instagram? How many hundreds of billions of dollars, largely from the United States and other nations, for you to say, oh, well, maybe you haven't been alone? Please, thank you. These are the words that people might like to hear when you come to our motherfucking Oval Office.
Yo, if it didn't bring you tremendous joy to watch Donnie and JD flame this cargo pants wearing weasel in the Oval Office today, I don't think you're paying attention, dude. This literal actor, corrupt scumbag is nothing what they pretend he is. You're talking corruption at the highest level, allegations of money laundering, inflated contracts. He stopped the country from having elections, silenced and jailed other political parties, consolidated all of the independent media outlets and made them all state media so that no information that is true that hasn't been filtered by the administration can get in or out of the country. All of the political parties in Ukraine have been dissolved, and all of the television stations have been consolidated into one 24-hour station. They've had martial law in effect in Ukraine since February of 2022, which allows them to restrict certain rights and freedoms. And what comes with that martial law? No presidential selections. They can't even have the option of selecting new leadership. You just have this cargo pants wearing demon. And why this serpent is supposedly in the battle of a lifetime. Him and his wife have the time to pose for Vogue magazine shoots, to meet with clowns like Ben Stiller, as well as jet set around the world collecting bags of cash, doing live streams to the Grammys. And of course, lest we forget, fly to the United States to campaign with Joe Byron for some photo ops. And on top of all that, they've collected hundreds of billions of dollars from us. You and me. And with no end in sight and no room for negotiation, needlessly, people will continue to have their lives squandered, as well as their country destroyed and rebuilt by some of the most nefarious dark forces and financial demonry from here at home. Bro is the plague, and even though who knows exactly what's going to happen with the financial access going forward, at the very least, seeing them flame this clown in the Oval Office on camera was at least a joyful difference from how it's been. Be gone, tiny serpent. Stop collecting our cash and end your situation. Hold me closer, tiny dictator.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. But this is what I don't understand about the situation, is that people are saying, well, we want Russia to lose. What does that mean, and how is that possible? Because Russia is not going to lose to Ukraine single-handedly. So the U.S. has to get involved, and they can't win the war with just us funding Ukraine. They're going to run out of bodies. They're eventually going to have U.S. bodies, U.S. soldiers on the ground, or NATO on the ground. One or the other. But either way, either or is going to cause a world war, period. So there is no Russia losing or Putin losing. It's impossible. The whole world is going to lose. That's just the way things are going to crumble. And so what's the best solution? Ukraine, you just got to take the L. That's just the way it is. You're the weaker vessel. You're the weaker country. This is how things have been for forever. The stronger nation, the bigger nation, tends to overpower and take over the smaller ones. I mean, this is called conquest. That's how every nation was founded. And if you can't defend yourself and defend your people without funding from other parts of the world and other parts of, civilizations, then, I mean, your existence is just not strong enough. The country's existence is not strong enough. Now, this is what people fail to realize, that, well, you say the country's existence, it shouldn't exist, blase, blase. And they conflate that with saying that the people shouldn't exist. No, that's not the case. They're just going to be under the rulership of the Russians. That's just how things work. They don't have to die, but they will die if they keep fighting. That's what people don't understand. If they keep fighting, it's inevitable that they eventually will die off. It's just not enough of them, or they're going to cause other people to go and die there for them, either Europeans or Americans. So that's just my opinion. Not really too informed about, the cause of the war and how it started, but I do know that Russia is not going to lose to Ukraine. That's just, it's not going to happen. So after getting roasted by JD Vance and Donald Trump, Vladimir Zelensky goes on Twitter and basically thanks every world leader and every individual that is in solidarity with Ukraine. That's what you're seeing playing in the background here. Thank you for your support. 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 This is so pathetic. But anyway, he made the huge mistake of trying to litigate this in front of the media with Trump and Vance in the Oval Office. That was not the right place to do that. And if you're going to have these types of disagreements and also, have a back and forth and have a debate, it's best that you are respectful, especially if you're demanding something from a country. It's best that you are respectful, and also try to do this maybe at a more private setting instead of blasting this nonsense debate, back and forth argument on the internet for everybody to see, which was embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. But, he should have just discussed this, like I said, in private, and maybe he would have had a better chance of getting the solution that he was looking for. But we'll never know, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you did. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Let me know what your opinions are. And, of course, if you are brand new, consider and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.